Hey there, Blue Rockers. Welcome to Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. How are you? It is cryptoconnie Tuesday, and you are where it is Earth's most interesting conversations. We do this all week, and my name is Connie Willis. Again, tonight I'm cryptoconnie. This is on, cryptoconnie Tuesday. Wasted Wednesdays coming up. Far Out Thursdays and Bigfoot Fridays. Those are all at 10 p.m. Eastern when these things happen. And then we also have Stan's Bible lecture on Sunday. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. And all sorts of little breaking news in between here and there, whether it's cryptocurrencies or it's cryptids out there in the woods. Lots of new things coming in the future. And some things I'm hearing are going to possibly be a problem. According to some other people on YouTube, they're trying to take away and actually delete videos that have alternate crypto coins out there, as well as cannabis type stuff too. So I haven't even started on the Wasted Wednesdays. So, I don't know. For those of you that have HBO, I think it's HBO, and you watch my little show I tell you all about from time to time called Silicon Valley, our main star there is putting together a decentralized internet to change the world. And I tell you, it's so funny because what I have learned in the crypto world, that star there, and then all the little characters around it, really do remind me of all the people that I've met in the world of cryptocurrency. And I think the star of that show, even though I've never met the Stan Larimer, the guy that everybody talks about, even though I've never met him, just heard a lot about him. He just kind of reminds me of that's him. I don't know if it's him or not, but it's cool that he's out there trying to make something brand new, and change the world. So it's kind of fun to watch, and it's very fun to watch actually. It's funny, totally hilarious. So I'm hoping to get some of you guys to, I don't know, maybe someday I can get one of them here on Blue Rock Talk and we can talk about the show. But I hope to be able to get the guy that we have on here for tonight to at least watch once in a while to tell me if he doesn't agree that that's how it is on the inside, because it's absolutely hilarious. It's just very, very funny. So just to kind of recap some things here. Again, Wasted Wednesdays is something that we're going to do here on Blue Rock Talk in the future. Possibly, if they're going to take down videos, that's not very good. I don't want to work hard and then they do that, but we'll see how that goes. That's going to be about the cannabis industry, but then other things as well. All right, maybe the bourbon industry and all sorts of other neat little things. Being in Kentucky, that's a big deal here. Not just the Derby that just happened over the weekend. Now, on Far Out Thursdays, that is our signature night. That's when Blue Rock Talk first came on the air. And by the way, I think it is on May 27th. Is the 1 year anniversary. Now, we have hit over 10,000 subscribers, but I'm seeing it kind of waver a little bit in there. So those of you that are here, thank you for being a part of Blue Rock Talk. Hang in there with us, and I think you'll enjoy the shows. It's been a little scarce lately, been a lot going on, but here we are tonight with cryptoconnie Tuesday. We have the Bigfoot Fridays on Friday night. That's great. All the Bigfooters out there. We are either out in the field or I talk to people here on from the studio and they show pictures. And I love being around the campfire doing that. That one's fun. We'll be doing that again in the future. And, of course, Stan's Bible lecture on Sunday. It ain't your daddy's Bible lecture or ain't your daddy's Bible class at all. It's really interesting, a lot of fun, and all of our shows are live for the most part, and we take Q&A after that. So next time I'm going to be on Coast to Coast is May 19th. I hope you guys can join me. That's going to be a good show for sure. And let's see, the last time I was on, I got to probably tell some people for the first time that Art Bell had passed away. As far as I know, we don't have any of the information back yet. The toxicology reports are coming back, I guess, soon here, and that may tell us what happened to him, how he passed away. That's all I know. I've just heard a little bit about that, and if I find out anything, I'll let you know. But definitely, you're going to probably most likely hear that first on Coast to Coast, for sure. I also know that on Coast to Coast, our very own Dave Schrader is now going over to where Art Bell was with Midnight in the Desert, and he is taking over that show, and he is now the host, and he has left coast to coast to do that. So we wish him the best. And Ian Punit, who I don't know Ian. In fact, I'm not even sure if I'm saying Punit right. So Ian, I'm sorry. But Ian, who was one of the original fill-ins, is now going to be on Coast to Coast as a fill-in as well. So that'll be interesting. I haven't met him yet. So for some reason, I'm thinking I might have talked to him on the phone one time briefly. Not sure, but exciting things happening for sure. And, of course, I'm always going to keep you posted on these kinds of things. Now, I've got a lot of questions for our guest tonight. And so I know a lot of you guys wanted me to ask him some things. So I'm going to put him on the spot tonight. He's a man that can handle it. He's a man that can take it. I just know it. Well, we'll find out, right? We're going to find that out tonight. And, by the way, keep in mind this is live. So let's make sure everybody can hear me, too, by the way. Ian Punit. Yeah, that's right. Always punt. Like Charlie Brown would try to do, and Lucy would pull it up on him. Anyway, that's my era. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go on. Good night. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Anyway, let's bring on our guest here tonight. I'm going to make sure everything's good to go. Make sure you guys can hear me. Again, if you want to ask questions later, please make sure that you do that by putting it into caps. I'll remind you right there by putting it into caps, whether it's a comment or it's a question for Stan, just put it into caps. Also, if you, while you're here, please hit that like button and show your support. I would appreciate that. And again, let me mention this too before I bring in our guest. A lot of people have asked about, do you have a Patreon account, Connie? I appreciate that because that means you want to support the show. Thank you. I do have a Patreon account. Here's the thing about Patreon. They kind of talk you into the beginning. I wasn't on it like when it very first came out because I thought, this is going to be cool. But what they do is they say, hey, if you want to support me, go there, give me $1, and it's all good. You'll get to see, if you give $1, you'll get to see scenes you've never seen. Okay, that no one else sees. If you give $5, I'll send you a baseball cap. If you send $10 a month, I'll give you this. To me, no offense, maybe I'm just not there yet, but to me, the show, there's a lot of work that goes into the show. If you want to support the show, go ahead and add some money if you'd like. But I'm not to the point of being able to do all those other things yet. That'll happen one day. But even then, to me, it's like, oh my gosh, if you give me 10, then I gotta go, rub your back. What do I gotta do? This is crazy. So that's just me. I know everybody else does that stuff, but maybe they have a team with them of putting that together. Just me. It just seems like it's a whole lot more work. So if you do want to give, I know there's also a way you can do that here on YouTube. Well, they take a percentage. If you do it on Patreon, they take a percentage. So you know what? Just down below, if you ever want to do that, you're crypto people. Just give crypto. So my favorites are right down there. BitShares, EOS. You'll see them all down there. They're all down there. And EOS DAC just came into the picture, so I'm going to be asking our guest about that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on the man, and we'll share the screen with him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Stan, the man, Larimer. Oh, let's see. Make sure we got all your sound. I know last time you said some wonderful things, and then I didn't have any of it on sound.
Well, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let's turn you up over here just to make sure. And let's get your little voice. And I don't even care if it looks bad. Normally I don't want to do that for reasons.
Well, testing. 1, 2, 3.
There you go. We got you, Stan.
That's a relief. Yeah, I said some of my best remarks last time.
He did.
And we didn't even get him on tape.
He did, you guys. He really did. Well, okay. Well, first of all, everybody, this is Stan Larimer, the godfather of BitShares. And Mars rover dude, or at least he worked with Mars rover. He's a rocket scientist. He's also an instructor. He also does Stan's Bible lecture on Sunday here at 1 p.m. Eastern. And he tours the world. He eats food from all over the place. And I'm told he gets a tattoo somewhere on his body after every location that he goes to. True or false?
That would be somebody else that you might know, but it wouldn't be me.
I'm with you. A lot of people I know, they get them. It's just not for me either. I totally understand it. So anyway, so you went
Well, it goes forth between. Are you still there? We may have a hiccup.
Yep, I think the hiccup's gone.
Oh.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, there's generations switch back and forth between what they do. That I've noticed the things that my father's generation did coming back from World War II full of tattoos, and the next generation is doing, and yet my generation sitting in the middle doesn't have tattoos predominantly.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has to do with fashions and a lot of other kinds of things. Boxer shorts were prevailing in my dad's generation and in this generation, but jockey shorts were what were used in my generation. So there's. You
mean tidy whities?
Tidy whities.
You
yeah.
got Stan, you're taking us there.
To be different, but they don't realize that the things they're doing, their grandparents did. So
That's true. Yeah, your old grandpappy was a sexy one back then. You didn't know that about grandpappy, but he was. No, yeah, you're right. Tidy whities. Now I got a visual. Stan, don't do that to me. No,
man.
Come on,
Too
man.
much information.
You're the godfather of BitShares. Exactly. That's all I want to know. No.
Hey, this goes to show we'll talk about anything on here.
That's exactly right. Earth's most interesting conversations right here. Crypto Connie and Blue Rock Talk with Stan Larimer, the godfather of BitShares. A lot of great people already here with us. Anonymous user, Income Mobile, Pat Konchak, and Reverend Davies here. Hey there, and hello everybody. Yeah, Stan, I haven't seen you do that in a while. Come on now.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, there you go. He was Spock and then reversed it. Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah, that's how I figure out how to do it.
So in Greece, man. Okay, so if you guys didn't see anything on Greece, if you go onto Sunday's, it was last Tuesday's, a week from tonight. Last Tuesday was a live streaming day where Stan and Michael X were both there, along with some other great people, and we did a live stream throughout where they both spoke, and then we got to see everybody in the audience. Can you just say who all was there once again? Hopefully they're here again tonight.
Well, yeah, we had a whole lot of names that are quite famous in things. Certainly the sponsor of the meetup was a guy named Once Upon a Time. And another key member of the community, Lion Danny, that many people know. And there were other people there that may be less famous, a guy named Mr. Phoenix. Of course, we had Michael and I present. And we had other people that, might be more known for their Steemit handles. Both Lana and Elena were with us, and they're primarily involved in the Steemit domain. And there were many other people. I hate to start naming because I'm going to leave somebody out, so I'll just stop there.
That's all right. That's okay.
But,
yeah.
That'll give you an idea of some of the types. But the idea was that we were an excuse for them all to get together, and they converged on there from a radius of an hour's drive or more. In order to come and participate. And then we got to meet most of them again later in the week, just, bumping into them. It's interesting, the Greeks are famous for their long meals. A typical meal of probably 3 hours. And a few people show up, pick a restaurant, and sort of plant a flag. And then through modern communication methods, the word leaks out that people are eating there, and people keep arriving. By the time the meal's over, you've probably got a dozen or more people sitting around enjoying each other's company. So it was great. But the way it starts is you order more food than you need because someone else is going to show up and they'll have something to munch on while they order and the next person gets some of that, and so it just keeps the food coming on the table for the whole period of time you're there.
I love that. I would love to be a part of that. Golly, yeah. And the people that you had there, everybody was beautiful people. It was really fun to say hello to all of them that were there, but also to see the pictures that you presented. And if anybody goes on Steemit, you can go there and see. Just go through Stan's blog, and then you're going to see not just what Stan has posted, but you're going to see a lot of re-steams. So you'll see the Once Upon a Times and then the ladies that you spoke about too. So it was all beautiful people there for sure. You guys looked like you were all having a good time. And Michael X totally looked like he was having a great time. Had all these women on each side of him. He was doing the look-alike contest, and that was fun. That was fun to look at.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great experience, and they all speak perfect English. And yet there are suddenly, storms of Greek that come flowing across the table. And when they shift into Greek mode, it's like into high gear. The data rate seems to double.
That's hilarious. And were you going like, what? What's going on?
Yeah, what is that buzz I hear?
Did it remind you of everything's laid back? Talking English, got the food going. Okay, here we go, Ethereum blockchain, and then all of a sudden the Greeks all came in. Everybody starts talking, and then you go, oh, look, it's the BitShares blockchain. Look at this, right? It's graphene.
Oh, I like that analogy. Yeah.
Thank you. I've learned, very master. And what is it? The student teaches the master, right, or something?
Yes. Now I am the master.
That's right. And we are saying goodbye to Stan tonight, everybody. No. So speaking of that, did I read somewhere? I think I did with Michael X. Actually, I was going to. I should have thrown him in tonight. Did the BitShares blockchain hit a new time with a transaction high?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what happened? Tell us about that.
Just had a big peak. For one brief shining moment, we held the daily record for the industry, even beating out Steemit. We didn't drag the 7-day moving average up above to first place. Steemit still holds the record for that. But there was one day where we had a big burst. I think it's 1.5 million transactions in that day. And Steemit's record was, I think, a little over 2 million. And so we had, for one day, a period where we were ahead of Steemit in terms of the total. So, that was great. And, of course, I snagged the pie chart for that date.
I think that is so cool. Congratulations on that. I saw also where, I already feel this way myself personally, just from getting to know you guys and talking about this all the time. But I think this was another Michael X conversation here. And again, I got to get Michael back on. I was going to surprise you with a couple people tonight, so sorry that didn't happen. But it just didn't happen tonight, but it will, and I got to give it some time so it will be a surprise in the future. But one of the questions asked was, why is BitShares the future? Now, I've always kind of thought it was, but that seemed to be an article that was written. So is there something new? Is there something different? Is there something to add?
Oh, yeah. We can come circling around that from several points of view. I think we'll revisit that maybe later on another topic. But for right now, BitShares has always been a leader, and we're getting lots of cool new assets on it. And then we found a way to...
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're getting a few more assets on there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something else. All right. Good. I'm good. Glad.
We have a few more of those, too.
Oh, no. No, please tell. No, please no. Okay.
But we learned to live with that. But the thing that's, I think, really exciting, of course, is EOS is coming out. And, I had basically challenged the community and several people I respect in the community to look into what can we do to take advantage of EOS technologies as we're going along. And, I wanted to do something that would allow those new benefits to accrue to BitShares so that BitShares could remain in its leadership position. Some people were worried that EOS would eclipse it. I'm certain that won't happen now because
right?
we have What's this?
Well, you kind of want to bring it together. I mean, why use it as why treat it as competition? When you can bring it all together.
Exactly right. And we don't treat it as competition. I view it as a whole new layer of infrastructure that we can build on top of. Okay, so you have the individual assets that we have, like Quint and the Hero, and a lot of other cool things that people are developing. And then underneath that, you've got the BitShares, and underneath that, you've got EOS, which is actually multiple chains. And underneath that, we have something called Bench, which is a whole another layer of integration that just comes along and goes and grabs everything good about BitShares and everything good about EOS and, Ethereum and Bitcoin at the same time. And it'll start out with probably 10 of the big popular chains and integrate them so that coins become transportable across it. So you can still go to the individual chains. You can enter into that triangle, that pyramid, at any level. But if you want max power, well, we think we've got a way to add a lot of power to the already incredibly powerful EOS, which, of course, is providing new functions and services that other people will build things on if they want to work at the EOS level. But if you want to, I hate to say, in some sense, bump up in a level of power, bump down in a layer of operating system type features, I'm still working on my description here, what the right metaphor is. But the bottom line is Bench will allow you to use all the power of BitShares and all the power of EOS and everything that's developed on that, and allow you to build apps that make it not matter which chain out there. I mean, you could have an app that is cross-chain savvy all over the place. So that's a whole new level that people will be, I think, amazed at. And so what that means is that BitShares products and services and EOS's products and services and other little chains like Ethereum and Bitcoin's products and services can all coexist and interact. And some of the other little interesting things is from the Bench platform, you can basically launch your own blockchain in 5 seconds.
Whoa, what?
Yes.
Really?
It was,
wow.
Think about the work that it took to make Bitcoin, and then the work that went into BitShares and then into Ethereum, and each different thing and all of that. It's now gotten to the point, thanks to a lot of the work the EOS people have done, and then thanks to the work the Bench people are doing, it's now down to the point where things like launching your own blockchain is a matter of a single command. Boom.
Oh my.
And so
wow.
A lot of exciting new power there. Those things will appear primarily as benefits for people who want to develop. And you may find the EOS system intimidating, but the Bench team has come along and said, well, I know how to make it easier to use what EOS has done. So I got more than I bargained for out of all this when I said, look, all I really want to do is have BitShares take advantage of EOS technology. Now we have grand unification of the blockchain universe. So think about that.
Oh my gosh, it's getting bigger and bigger. I had about 5 questions in there. Let's see if I can pull back to one of them at least here. Okay, one of them was you said you can make your own blockchain. Okay, so you're saying that I can make my own blockchain pretty easily. I could have my own, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so 2015 when we're talking about you can have your own coin. Okay?
Right.
Now, that goes without saying. Coins are now platform independent. I've been writing about this for over a year,
right.
And I threw my wish list out there, and this Bench team has said, "Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that." And it's like, whoo! I really feel like I'm sitting back in my easy chair in front of my stereo and cranking up the volume and finding my chair being blown back against the wall. It's like So, yeah,
I remember that.
I think this day and age, you can launch your own chain, you can launch your own DApp very quickly.
Right.
And so that's the kind of thing the bench team's been working on is doing that sort of thing. They're real close to launching the testnet on it. And
before you get to that, I don't want you to get to that yet because I want to ask you really deeply about that kind of stuff. But I do. But let me ask you if I want to do a blockchain, I mean, what would that mean for me? What does I want a blockchain? What now? If I want a DApp, that's basically a decentralized app, like where everybody's got a lot of apps. You know, like I could have. Right, so I could have a bluerocktalk app where people could it just be easier on their phone to get to me, correct, and watch the show.
Well, the DApp is something a normal app you get probably interfaces to some server somewhere, so it's centralized. And a DApp is something that can, it looks to you like an app, but it's talking to a blockchain, and is therefore decentralized. And the blockchain itself holds the data that a form of data, and the neat thing about this new multi-threaded, multi-blockchain, I mean, that's EOS's big thing is carving out many blockchains. And, we're not saying that Bench is trying to take credit for anything EOS did. Bench adds another layer of frosting on the cake, okay? And it gives you a way to use some of the features that are available on ancient chains and current leaders like BitShares and new chains that are coming out like crazy, because I think what you're going to find is just a huge amount of interest in developing stuff. And now you can say, well, do I need to learn everything about EOS, or do I want to use the more powerful tools of, I wouldn't say more powerful, but, easier to use tools that Bench has. Okay, so I've been trying to talk here really seriously the whole time.
No, you're good. Okay, but if I want a blockchain, okay, I get the app part. But if I want a blockchain, I can say, hey, I want a chain. What would I do? What could I do with that? And which I know that's probably a crazy answer. There's going to be a ton of answers to that, but do I need a team of developers at that point? So it's really wouldn't behoove me to say I want a chain.
The end user doesn't need a blockchain. Okay, these are tools for developers.
Okay.
And so usually you put together an entire big team, and they work like for BitShares. The team worked for a couple years developing the various iterations of that. So it's very labor intensive. You might have 10 people or 2-man years or 20-man years put into something as complicated as BitShares. And I shudder to think how much is put into EOS. I mean, they got a huge team and doing a bunch of stuff. But if you are a developer and you don't want to spend all your time working on the blockchain, then you can go in and use some of the new tools that are available in Bench that will leverage the underlying capabilities of EOS and some special twists that the Bench team's added in to extend it in certain ways that you may find desirable. But that's all down deep technical stuff for the guys that want to do development. The thing that is going to be perceived by the end user is that they're going to get apps that are multi-chain aware apps, is I guess the best I would describe it. And the very simple first kind of application is a multi-coin wallet. But then you get on to building all kinds of interesting new apps, including a decentralized web server. So, the whole idea of making a website is now something that you're not going to have a single node out there. Your website is on the blockchain. And that's good because, there have been some dirty tricks played by the government, and I've been watching it happen, of them secretly calling up the people that supply server farms and say, we don't like this website here. Why don't you stop serving them?
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible.
These companies, like in this case, the specific example was DigitalOcean, out of the blue shuts down a website without explanation and won't return the data. The only time a company like that will do something is if they know the government's got their back. All right? And that's how I conclude, without proof, but it good to me that somebody powerful whispered in their ear and said, pull that website down. That is censorship, and that is being done sneakily by forces, dark forces that have enough power to convince a company like DigitalOcean to shut down a website without cause.
Wow.
Okay, and to feel so confident in doing it that they don't even offer an explanation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do two and two together just like me. But the point is, now you've got decentralized websites. They're just out there on the blockchain where they can't be censored. And every time you squeeze the system, you force innovation for people to work around it.
Right.
Okay?
That's true.
The people that are doing the dirty tricks out there in the deep state are, thinking they're pretty powerful, but every time that happens, the community of engineers around the world responds to that by finding a way to stop that kind of behavior.
Yeah, I mean...
So that's another example.
Yeah, no, that's... I was just thinking all the things that I know that are going on as well. I did want to mention that Income Mobile, I think, said it first. Now, anonymous user is saying it, but they're talking about if you have your own decentralized blockchain. I think that's what they were talking about, that it would be indisputable, immutable, or immutable, indisputable. I think that's cool. I like that. I think that works. That's what they would build. Those of you that are just joining us, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. I'm Connie Willis, and this is Crypto Connie tonight, and it's Crypto Connie Tuesday. This is Stan Larimer, the godfather of BitShares. A lot of you, we went in there and let you know. Stan went in there and said, hey, you guys, the show's on tonight, so we appreciate that you all are here. Please hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe as well, because we do this a lot, and we do breaking news as well, that you won't miss it this way when something new happens with BitShares or Michael X, or we're going to get Fuzzy on here too. Right, Fuzzy, right? Not Fozzie, Fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
It's Fuzzy, not Fozzie. Fozzie was a bear, right?
Well, Fuzzy may be a bear too, for all I know.
I hope to get him on sometime. Well, I wanted, it's funny because you're saying decentralized website, and here the show that I always like to talk about is Silicon Valley. It's they're working on a decentralized internet. Now, is that crazy to say? Because when TV shows come about, especially comedies, everything's kind of far-fetched kind of thing. However, is that far-fetched to have a decentralized internet?
No, in some sense, it's kind of a shocking term to me, because the internet itself was originally envisioned by Al Gore, I understand.
I knew it.
To be decentralized in the sense that you could take out a node and it would still keep on working. It was for defense, and so they wanted the defense networks of the world to be able to keep talking even in the event of a nuclear war, and that was the original ARPANET. And of course, it's grown up now to where it's decentralized in a lot of ways, but there are still some points of centralization where a nefarious government could come along and pull your URL registration so that people try to find your website and they can't, because the ICANN services that are out there are still centralized. And in some sense, that you would think that might be necessary, because how do you keep two people from claiming the same website name? Somebody has to keep a database. Well, put that in a decentralized way out there where you can register those kind of things on the blockchain, and voila, one less place where power can be abused and people can be interdicted without due process. So that's what we're looking for, and that's what the whole industry is building towards. The idea of coins and ICOs, that's just old 2017 kind of stuff. Okay, that's not the revolution that's going on. The revolution is to decentralize everything and to get it to the point where power can't be abused to interfere with people's normal interactions socially and business.
Well, it's bringing to mind something that I've seen happen along the way. Even I thought about trying to jump into it too. It was too late at that point, and I didn't know myself well enough. But I know that at one point when domains came out, everybody said, oh my gosh, here's a chance to make $1 million. Let's grab the McDonald's.com, Wendy's.com, this.com, that.com, Progressive Insurance, whatever it was. And they would grab it really quickly, and then they'd have Progressive, McDonald's, whoever, over a barrel and say, I own this domain. How much would you like to buy it for? Right? So, would that be something, if somebody wants a coin or whatever it is that they want to do on the blockchain, can you keep it from people like that trying to hog up all the names and everything beforehand? Is that something that you can also stop with this? Because, we all know what everybody is doing when they're doing that.
Yeah, we have domain squatters. When we first launched BitShares, name squatters. We noticed, because we just put a nominal fee for registering a name. We noticed somebody had a bot that was methodically going through and buying up all the 1, 2, and 3 letter names. And they were buying them up for fractions of a penny. And, it was clear what their plan was. And about halfway through that, we bumped up the price to a much higher thing. So it was much more costly to squat on a name. Now, there's not a good way other than just by making them expensive. And that's what we did in BitShares, is to say short names are more expensive than longer names. And names that have special characters in them, so that there would be some cost, if you will. But still, that doesn't stop somebody from coming in and registering McDonald's prematurely, right?
Right.
There are different opinions on that. If you try to stop it, most solutions are worse than the problem, because they introduce centralization.
Yeah.
Now, who gets to decide who has the right to own that name?
But then again, it's hard because, it's all about being fair too. The blockchain's all about being fair. So look, if I'm McDonald's and I see a McD's coin, come on, it's McD's. It's my coin. It would be me. So
I think they could have some success.
Got to have some sort of say there.
With a lawsuit. But of course, blockchains are designed to prevent abuse by central authorities. And so now, perhaps legitimate function of a central authority to come along and say, these guys own their name and they've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
And so therein is the loggerheads between legitimate government functions and illegitimate government functions. And, that's a problem that will go on now for a long time. And, it's a legitimate area of discourse. What it shouldn't be is an area where we get too much power in the hands of the government coming in and, wrecking companies unnecessarily in order to assert their right to rule on this or that. And, so I think it's possible for the government to sit down with the industry, and they are doing that. I mean, Dan got invited to talk to the Senate Finance Committee and ask what he thought, different tokens, how they should be classified and so on. So they are reaching out, and so that's good. Unfortunately, the current system has been, it's politically infiltrated. Okay, every single one of those organizations out there that used to be absolutely pristine, like the FBI. Those guys were so awesome.
Yeah.
They had, such a code of honor that it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
But now it's politically infiltrated, and we see in the daily news all kinds of outrageous things that are happening because of those people that have been put in there that are politically reliable but have no integrity, right?
Yeah.
And so that undermines every one of our three-letter agencies has that same kind of problem. Mm-hmm. And I won't turn the show into a rant on that.
No, that's okay.
But the government is utterly corrupted by political operatives who have been inserted in among all those great people who just want to be government services. And how do you tell the difference? Well, one thing you can't do is give those agencies as much power as they've had in the past, because the abusers are already embedded in the system. Okay? And so that's a new challenge for Congress to say, you can't do the stupid, easy thing of saying, let's give infinite power, because we know everybody inside every one of these three-letter organizations has the highest motives, and they're a better kind of human than the average man in the street. Not anymore. I think that may have been true with certain agencies, especially the FBI, in the past. Obviously, nothing's ever perfect with humans in it. But lately, I think the results of activities happening over the past 10 years have utterly corrupted our system. The only way to cure that, I think, is to trim back their power. They can't be allowed to have that much power, and we need new kinds of checks and balances on those organizations to stop political operatives from abusing the power in there that used to be apolitical.
Yeah. In the chat room, Income Mobile says, "The power of Christ compels you." Thought that was perfect for that. Good line there, Income. Those of you just joining us that have never been here, thank you for being here. Hit that like button. This is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, Earth's most interesting conversations, people, places, and things. And one of those people is Stan Larimer right there, the godfather of BitShares. This is CryptoConnie Tuesday. So hit that like button in support for us, as well as subscribe while you're here, because we will be doing this a whole lot. We've been doing it a lot. You can check in the past, and make sure you subscribe and become a Blue Rocker. A Blue Rocker is someone in the know, and you know how to do this if you're a Blue Rocker. Watch Stan; he can do it. He can do funky things. He can do like waka waka waka, like Pac-Man-y kind of stuff there across the thing. All right, so. Gosh, I got about 5 billion questions here. I was just, as we were talking, I was bringing up the McD's, having their own coin. I hope in the future somebody like McDonald's has their own coin, and or White Castle, or Wendy's or whatever, and then they may, for all I know, but to where they have it to where you can go and spend, you have however many BitShares, and you can buy yourself a Bit Mac with BitShares. That's a great campaign right there. A bag of Big Macs for BitShares or something like that. Big Mac for a BitShares. BitShares for Big Mac. Big Macs for BitShares. I like that.
It's a possibility. It's been messed up again by, once again, fear tactics from the government, causing a lot of companies who might have been considering doing something like that now saying, "Nah, I don't think I want to get in trouble with the government. Let's just steer clear of that." I've seen so many plans put on the shelves because of the recklessness with which the government's been acting, and so that hurts the growth of the industry and a lot of the potential of the industry under the Fox statement that we got to protect everybody from everything that could ever happen to them in advance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, protecting them too much is horrible as well. They'll need safe spaces everywhere they go. I'm sorry I didn't say that, but I didn't mean that. You know what? I mean, then maybe, the quicker we get this out there or you guys get this out there where it's decentralized, I guess websites or whatever, just get as much as you can out there. So instead of having to wait for some sort of chain to be able to do this kind of stuff, create your own chains, because once everything's running really, really well and the money's all moving, everything's going, everybody's happy, you can take that income and have a decentralized cafe. And that's all. You go, you get your coffee, your sandwiches, whatever, and it's only BitShares or whatever, kind of thing. So you got to create your own, because then the government wouldn't have a problem with that. Is that correct? Because it's a decentralized cafe. Is that possible, or am I crazy? Can you have something like that?
Well, no? There's two separate issues. One, whether you're crazy or not, but let's set that aside. And
me or whoever might do that. I think it's a great idea. Oh my gosh!
But the jury's not out on what is going to be legal or not legal, or approved or not, and even different agencies of the government have different ideas about what is or isn't things. And different countries are treating it differently. So. But while everybody's arguing about coins, we're talking about entire new ways of interacting with each other that have nothing to do with that. Everything from voting to how you implement your websites to avoid censorship, to different ways people can put their information out there in a way other people can use it in an incorruptible fashion. So re-engineering the entire world, and what we're all about is not fighting the battles about this coin or that coin or something. That'll sort itself out. But we're fighting the battle of giving everyone in the world the tools that allows them to implement decentralized applications, and trying to light 1,000 forest fires, 10,000 forest fires, so that freedom can spread around the globe and not get snuffed out by bad actors wanting to control everything. That's what's really this is all about. Is we're working at the level of making it easy for anybody to create new applications, from dumb little things like CryptoKitties up to major new systems that could run a big chunk of what the government does right now and do it better, because it would be done with robotic integrity. And if you just think about it, if we could take a lot of the stuff that right now political operatives infiltrating into the three-letter agencies are using as a way to abuse power and predict or choose winners and losers, and to slant things in the direction of their political party versus another. If we could take that and get it onto the blockchain where they can't touch it, and when everybody's treated exactly the same and fairly, and it doesn't matter whether they're a little guy or a big guy, think about how much corruption we could wring out of what we have right now. So those are the big things that I think are what I find promising, and what makes me get up in the morning and tilt windmills.
No, I love it. I think that's great. I'm going to mess with you a little bit. I think we should take Pam, that's his beautiful, wonderful wife, set her up with a little bitty kiosk kind of thing. I hear she's a pretty good cook. Get her flipping some burgers or something there, and she sells them only for BitShares. And we can just get it started, because it'd be good. I just,
I'll suggest that to her,
Okay, yeah.
And maybe she can add cheeseburgers while she's at it.
Okay, all right. We'll see how that goes. I think that's cool. Somebody in the chat room, 12, has got the BitSharenator burger in McDonald's. BitSharenator. BitSharenator.
If it's not interfered with, this industry can just sponsor so much economic growth.
Yes.
That the people who want control always seem to forget that this is what I used to get taught when I was in high school, was that the reason why the West was more prosperous than the Soviet bloc was that the Soviet bloc had a command and control system that wanted to specify just how much of everything is to produce, and everybody had to fall in line and do exactly that. And the West was full of entrepreneurs doing anything they wanted, and lots of competition and huge increases in prosperity. Okay, that's what we were taught. And yet, what are we building right now over in the West? A massive control system, for command and control system, to clamp down on absolutely everything people are doing. Hey guys, you're turning it into the old Soviet Union. And for some reason, that type of person always wants to draw the power in and don't really care what it does to our economy. If we want to have prosperity, we've got to fight back on that, get back to the philosophies of freedom in the economy and our economic interactions, and cut this business of fear and intimidation that seems to be more and more the watchword of big government.
Well, you've mentioned along the way bench. So bench you, man. Bench me, bench you. Tell us more about what that is. I know as you bring it up, some people really already know what it is. They have a good inside scoop. And can you just give us more of a background on what that is from the very beginning for those that are just hearing that for the first time going, bench? What what is bench? Because I know you're excited about this, and I know everybody's excited about bench.
Right. Well, it's something that's evolving very rapidly. And it's the phoenix rising out of the ashes kind of a thing. I got to give credit where credit's due. The genius behind this is Jared Rice of Arise Bank fame. The very person who was, is attempting to be suppressed by the system without just cause and due process. And, they graciously allowed him to continue working. He says, how can I go work when you've done this to me? You've seized all my assets and you smeared my name all over the globe. How can I go get a job? Can I at least own a computer so that I can code and maybe I can build something with my time while I'm waiting for this case to settle out? And initially their answer was incredibly no. Okay, because that's the mode they were in of, being ruthless and trying to inflict as much pain. They thought about it, and a couple of days later said, yeah, okay, you can code. And so that's what he's been doing, and he's been, working on new stuff and so on. I've been sort of watching that, and, I liked the kind of things I saw him doing, and so I invited him to sit in on our team that was working on BitShares 3.0 at the time, which was our early name for something that would take advantage of EOS, whether it meant upgrading BitShares to EOS or taking good stuff out of EOS and putting it in BitShares or making a middle chain that interfaced the same thing to do it. And so, I laid out a series of several objectives for that particular project, just as a decentralized, not paying anybody to do anything, but just talking with the community and saying, these are the things that I think at first do no harm. Whatever you build should not hurt BitShares. It should help BitShares. Okay, it should make BitShares more valuable and in more demand. And I gave several other very general statements of things like take advantage of what EOS has and so on. So I laid those out there. Apparently, that something in that inspired Jared's thinking, and so just sitting there with nothing better to do while he's waiting for his case to get done, he's been coding like crazy in the past 30 days. And as a result, when somebody's breakdancing and doing something really cool in the street or a flash mob builds, suddenly they say, what's he doing? And a crowd starts to form around him. And I've watched this group of people grow who are sitting there looking at the code he's pumping out at incredible rates, and all the innovative thinking and the new user interface designs, and just you would not believe how productive this guy is. And so he's drawn a crowd, and I know the SEC and the other people in the government are watching it too. He's doing it out in the open, demonstrating for the world that Rise Bank was not a fraud, but in fact he was perfectly capable of doing it and was very close to delivering it. And they stole all that code from him and denied him access to it. He's not allowed to touch a stick of it. He says, okay, I'll go build something else. And apparently he was inspired with the idea of building something that would integrate first BitShares and EOS, and then as he generalized it, all the world's blockchains. And so that's what Bench is. Bench is Jared Rice's new magnum opus, and we're looking at that and saying, holy cow, if he continues and succeeds at that, it's so much bigger a vision than what I asked for when I said to the community, how are we going to upgrade BitShares to 3.0? So that's what Bench is, and it's the kind of thing that Jared is doing for free and giving away for free, and people can use it or not use it. One of the other things that was one of my ground rules that I put out there was let's not perturb the BitShares 2.0 system that's out there right now, because a whole lot of companies have already built on top of it. Once you get a blockchain out there, and a lot of people have depending on it, you just can't willy-nilly go in and make large changes. So he came up with a concept of wrappers that his code can put around any blockchain, encapsulating it, and therefore making them all compatible, and compatible at a higher level than they would have otherwise been. And so I'm just sitting back and blown away with this, but it gives lie to the statements that have been made by the SEC that he wasn't really a programmer. It's obvious to everybody in the community, and yet they continued to maintain that. There was an article in the Dallas News that just flabbergasted me, because it was clear that this reporter who is not a technical expert, so whatever she's spouting in that article is not getting her information from any place else other than the government authorities, who continue to falsely represent the facts of the case when every single part of that case has fallen apart. The original complaint, the only fraud in the Arise Bank case is in the complaint the government filed, full of fraud, full of false statements that they knew or should have known, given the resources they have, were false. And so one by one, each one of them has been proven wrong. Now, their big one was, he's fraudulently claiming to have bought a bank. No, it's very clear after they investigated that he did buy a bank. The fraud was on the part of the person that sold it to him. And they know that, and yet they still tell reporters the false claims that were in their complaint. And there's just one after another of these things that are in that. I could go down through every one of them, but certainly one of the big statements that they're making is that, I guess here's the biggest one, the one that really is my best example of fraud. I mean, I consider it fraud when a government agency with all of the resources they have can't figure out that the charges are false before they go kill a company dead without due process. And they didn't. They were in such a hurry to jump on him that they didn't use the tools they had. They had the ability to look at all his emails and investigate all these things and find out that none of the charges that they have against him are true. But they didn't. Instead, they continue to make that. And even now that they know that all those charts, they have to know. There's no possible way they cannot know that every one of their charges are false. And yet they continue to pursue the case and expand it, looking for whatever they can get in little nitnoid stuff. And even to the point of, I hate to have to say it, but I see them collaborating or collusion of all types with other players that show conflict of interest across the board of multiple sets of people who have different agendas of reasons wanting to get Jared. I'd call it a rogues gallery. And this is not something I'm getting from from any inside information. They don't tell me what's going on inside the courtrooms and so on, but I can just see it by Googling, and we've been looking at this. And when I wrote that article called Arise Bank Trial of the Century, I pointed out all these things, and they're all coming true. But there's this perfect storm of people. There's his child custody case where people are making wild claims that it turns out are being used by the SEC, and the SEC is turning around and feeding information. It's clear there's collusion between those two separate cases. And then there's competitors out there who we saw make outrageous threats. A guy by the name of Cody Mark Baisley or something like that came on before the SEC even acted and was threatening, and I've seen the actual post that he made, I will die before I allow you to get rich. Okay, and it turns out he's friends with the receiver, Mark Rasmussen, who got the job of seizing all the funds and holding them and selling them, and then giving the SEC the money to spend on themselves that rightfully belongs to the people who were properly investing in a properly company, and they were basically the ones who were ripped off. And so you've got the SEC turning around and picking this friend of a competitor to be the receiver, and all of those people are talking, and then in that article in the Dallas News, they're bragging about what they did. And if you go through and read that article, knowing what we know about it, and yet looking at that, there's about 5 false or misleading premises there that they know or should know are not true, and yet they're still telling it to the press in Jared's hometown, deliberately, it seems, trying to either boost their own reputations as, look what we did, we are now experts. Come to us for our business because look what we did to Arise Bank. Yeah, you ought to be in jail for what you did for Arise Bank. But instead, they're bragging about it on the front page of the Dallas News, and I'm just appalled at reading that article. The kind of claims that they are making. These are, lawyers for the company that is the receiver, which is right in the middle of the whole case. They know everything about the case, and yet they're making these statements, puffing themselves up and poisoning any jury pool that Jared might ever need by publishing false statements about him under color of authority. You just can't believe it. All of these different pieces out there, it's out in the open, and they're not even trying to hide it. Read that article with what I've told you and see their smug, can't touch me attitude of, look, I can say anything I want to the press. I can do anything I want to Jared Rice, either because I want to ruin his chances in his child custody case, or I want to get access to his software because I'm his competitor, or I want to be the receiver that's, as they say in the article, opening up a whole new way of dealing with these things by seizing the assets without due process and spending it on ourselves. And then the SEC allowing all that happening and actually promoting the guy who did the Arise case and, patting on the back, nice job.
This sounds like...
It's just unbelievable.
Oh, no, go ahead, say that again.
End rant.
No, I love it.
I worked up on this because I want my government to be high integrity, and there is obvious misbehavior happening across the board with all these different people. And, I just shudder to think what must be going on that I don't know about. But there doesn't seem to be much interest in protecting the people out there, because the people out there knew darn well what Jared was doing. We were discussing it in our communities. There were people in our communities trying to smear him, as there always are. You bring any new idea up, and there'll be a few people that want to, sling mud at it and poo-poo it. That's the nature of our industry. But in this case here, it was obvious that when anybody saw all that misinformation and wanted their money back, Jared was giving it back. When one of his people would make a false statement, he'd do a retraction the very next day. And yet all that gets swept under the rug. We don't care that you retracted it the next day. The fact is that this false statement was made by somebody on your behalf. Well, if anybody who's ever managed a company knows that sometimes you don't detect that kind of stuff. And I think a one-day turnaround from, oops, that's a mistake, correct it, is plenty good due diligence. And yet that was one of the charges that was filed against him that's been proven false. And it just goes on and on. So anyhow, the only reason I'm bringing this up right now is because, I think it's important for our community to pay attention. Everything that I've said here is available in the open press. You can Google it. You can find the fact that the receiver is good friends with the competitor that threatened Jared with taking him down and preventing him from succeeding. Okay, so what's going on? I'm asking the question. I'm hoping I can stimulate a few other people to. I mean, when I think of how many people jumped on the bandwagon to railroad Jared early on and smear him, where is that same group of private investigators right now looking and saying, do we want this kind of corruption in our government? Or are we going to rise up as individuals and at least get informed at what's going on here? Because most of the time when they print a retraction, it appears on page 13 of some filing with the court, and mountains of filings. Nobody ever finds it. But even after they did that, and they did file the fact within the next day of publishing this article that someone had been interviewed with, they filed the facts that the bank, that Jared's deal with the bank was not fraudulent. He was the victim, not the fraudster. But they make a big deal of their threats and smearing him and defamation of character, blatant. What is the government doing defaming character? What is going on? But when it comes to a retraction, it appears on the back page of some filing that's out there, and they never correct it. That's dishonest government. and we cannot stand that, guys. And so, hope somebody out there gets as outraged as I am at what I see happening here. But this is my best shot.
No, I think it's great. I mean, it's interesting that what you're saying, you can, if you just watch the news any day of the week, at any time, any hour of the day, you're going to get the same thing. It's just going to happen to be our president that they, the witch hunt is for, and the smearing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, over and over and over again. I got to tell you, that takes a strong person to be able to handle that. The fake news, the witch hunts, all this stuff. I mean, and here we have Jared, who was just trying to do a lot of good stuff and just have a ball with that genius mind of his. I mean, he's another genius out there working, correct? Am I wrong? He's not just mediocre. He
is multiple levels of genius. I think he's an innovator on the same class as Stan Larimer. Okay, so when it comes to the things he's doing, he didn't just come along and say, how can I catch up to EOS? He leapfrogged over it and says, I see what Dan's doing. He's a freaking genius.
Wow.
Here's how I can improve on it.
I love it.
but he's also a philosopher, and he can sit down there and articulate the principles of freedom just as good as anybody else does. So he has that deep thinking, and he can do that same kind of depth on biblical topics. He knows his Bible very well and can explain it, and in fact did at one point sit down during a deposition and give a half-hour tutorial on Christianity for some reason.
He nailed it out there. Good for him. So I mean, he is still fighting it, and a lot of people want to know, is he in jail? Where is he? What is he doing? Does he have something wrapped around his ankle? I mean, it sounds like he's working on this bench thing, but what is he actually doing, and how is he doing? How's he holding up? Hello there, Jared. I hope you get to watch these from time to time.
He's never been arrested. This is a civil case, and the only thing they did was seize all his assets and paint such an evil picture that a federal judge said, you're not allowed to own any assets, not even a laptop. He had to go beg for simple basic human rights. Okay, so other than the fact that they are using all those powers they shouldn't have because they abuse them, like we see right here, and they use those powers to win. And this is not the only case. I mean, you go look. SEC wins most of its cases by bringing big things they can't prove and big budgets, and then they grind somebody down and get them to plead to some minor thing that is just enough to kick them out of the industry. Okay, and over again, that plea bargaining method of making outrageous claims and then saying, I got more money for lawyers than you do, and I can keep this up as long as necessary, and if you lose, you're going to jail for 30 years, or you can settle for 3 years in jail, and we'll let you off easy, just never work in the industry again. Okay, that's abuse of government. Okay, there needs to be, and once again in the article I wrote, there needs to be a rule that says whatever the government spends on a case, the defendant gets to spend on the case. This business of if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided to you, but it's a rookie first-year law student that is coming in to do it, or somebody who's burnt out and doesn't want to work hard cases anymore and just wants the government to hand them easy cases and a very limited team, and the government has infinite resources and can drag it out as long as possible. How is that fair? How is that just? How is that the right to a fair trial and due process? It's not. And so most of the SEC's convictions, in my opinion, come down to R1, and they hardly ever lose. But they won because they abused power, not because they necessarily had a good case.
I just see this stuff happening all over the place, not even just what you're saying. I mean, it's happening everywhere. Just innocent people trying to do all the right things and other people just bombarding them. A lot of it, I mean, what do you think a lot of it is? I think a lot of it, to me, what I've seen is nobody wants to listen to the other side. They have already heard the side from the person that first, like kind of squealed or something kind of thing, or whatever. I don't even think it's a squealing because it's made up. So it's just, what is it? Is it competition, jealousy, control, greed? I guess it's all of those.
Well, all of the evil parts of human nature, but the big thing is when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
Okay? So Every time the evil eye of Sauron focuses on a little Jared out there, the first thing is, how do we snuff out this guy's existence as fast as possible? Let's use all of our advantages to win quick and win big, so we can get our promotion. Which the guy that took out Arise Bank got his promotion. And it was stated at the time his promotion was announced that one of the 2 reasons why he got the promotion was his great job on the Arise Bank case.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. An abomination, and he got promoted for it.
Right.
So that means there's fundamental flaws in the system.
Yeah.
Who is watching people and assuring that integrity is taking place? Or did those orders come from higher up? That's another question.
Yeah. Remember a long time ago, now this was in the movies, but a long time ago in the movies, if there was like a damsel in distress or a male in distress, didn't matter. The whole community came together. They lit their sticks with fire. In the middle of the night, they'd go to help someone and save someone and take care of someone. And everybody backed everybody up. Now, I love competition. I grew up in sports, and that's fun. You compete, and, there is a winner and a loser. There's not everybody's a winner, whatever kind of thing. Everybody gets a reward. No, we stopped you guys. We had more baskets made than you guys, or we went over that goal line, whatever. That's fun. That's good, clean, fun competition. That's a blast. Let's play again, best 2 out of 3, whatever. Okay, let's switch people up so it's a more fair or whatever like that, That's fun competition. It should be around. I love that. However, these other things, we don't need competition or just, we're going to beat you, we're going to stomp you into the ground. It's funny because the people that say, this is what I'm seeing at least nowadays, when they're saying we're going to stomp you in the ground, we don't need you around anymore. They're also the people saying, oh, let's be fair, everybody win, everybody win, everybody win. Well, unless it's somewhere they don't want them to win, I guess, then they want to pound them out. But, collaboration is a wonderful thing. Competition is good, not where it hurts somebody, but, sports, playing, having a good time. And hey, even my radio station is better than your radio station. Let's go for it and have a good time here. However, collaboration is so much better. That's one of the things I like about YouTube, I don't know if it's happening or not happening, is people weren't competing with each other. They were collaborating, saying, hey, look, you do a show on crypto, I do a show on crypto. Let's talk about it. You do a show on Bigfoot, I do one. Let's don't compete. Let's share each other's people. Let's say, hey, last week it was on Connie's Blue Rock Talks Bigfoot Friday, and this week it's on so-and-so's Planet Sasquatch. That kind of thing. Let's let the world know what else is out there so we can all share and have a good time and be friends like that. But I am totally seeing where is, collaboration. Where is it? We need this back. I mean, I think, I have told you, somebody stole some of my videos here, and they acted as if they were theirs. And there's a total copyright infringement, absolutely total copyright infringement. So I reported them. I didn't realize how big of a deal it is on YouTube, by the way, for that, which is good. It is a big deal, but if you get 3 strikes, you're out. They take your thing down. However, here's the deal. If you really did that to somebody, you should be in trouble. But if you didn't do it, and people can say that you did it, like these people, they retracted by saying, hey, you copyrighted something falsely, and they didn't take the dispute, and some of my videos have come off, but it wasn't true. They aren't true. But in order for me to prove it, I've got to go through a long process in order to maybe even take it to court eventually to say, this guy's over here lying. And he did it just because I took him down legally. So instead of the collaboration of, hey, dudes, next time you want to there is a way to share videos. You can just put share to, and then you can put the people's name, and they get credit. I get the views for you watching. You don't get to take and steal money from what I did. That's just against the law. It's what we do here. And but it's funny how people can just take advantage of these rules. I didn't know I could go in there. I could find something that you're in, Stan, and I can go say that that you have a copyright infringement, and it just goes as if it's true. It's not even checked out, and all of a sudden, boom, your video can be gone. It's crazy. Now, this person, they keep saying, hey, look, you retract and I'll retract. Well, no, retract. Take all that stuff down. You want to show me peace instead of extorting me, instead of threatening my life as you are going to give me multiple sticks within the next 24 hours. You think I want to deal with that? Okay, I got to call the cops, got to call YouTube, got to figure out all this kind of stuff that I've got to do to protect myself from somebody stealing from me, telling me I'm the bad guy when they're the bad guy. This isn't true. This isn't right. How does YouTube even let that get that far? And then they say, hey, we take this very seriously. Call your local police. I mean, so even something as little as that, I don't think it's little. I think that's big because I'm dealing with that. What Jared is dealing with is even bigger than that. Why can't people just say, you know, this is a good thing? Give it a shot. Yeah. Let's see what happens. This is cool. Let's see if it changes our world.
The little guy that's doing that to you thinks he can get away with it in impunity. And so he's sitting there smugly saying, ha, 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 you can't touch me because I'm hiding behind my anonymity.
And I want to have peace. I want to have peace. And if you don't give it to me, I'm going to stick you multiple times in the next 24 hours. That's what he said.
Terrible. When you get to Jared, you have people saying, ha, 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 I have government immunity. You can't do anything about this. I have total absolute power to ruin your life, and you can't defend yourself.
And stick guns in your face in the morning when you wake up.
No, exactly. And lie to the federal judge about the reason why you need to take guns in there. Let's not forget that. I mean, I said it's a fraudulent document. That document actually said that the president of the company was a multiple-time felon with multiple gun abuse problems, and it's clear that that was the thing that was used to convince the federal judge that they needed to send a whole SWAT team in. And it turned out that it was easily proven and retracted within 4 days that, oh, sorry, we got the background information on another guy with the same name. Okay. Federal agencies that screw up that bad, they can't screw up that bad. They have infinite resources. They have to do their homework. And as soon as they do something like that, you got to wonder what their intentions were. Let's go see if we can't make Jared into the biggest example we can as our big entry. And they've bragged about this. This is our big entry into regulating this industry. Let's scare a lot of people. Let's get a SWAT team. Let's pick somebody we can go after. And let's lie to the judge in our complaint, telling him that the president of the company is an armed felon with multiple gun violations. Okay. Now, where is the judge after finding this out, not saying, uh-oh, fruit of a poisonous tree, this is all done, and cancel? Thank God that there's a federal judge out there that is doing that at the presidential level. And think about this. The system is so smug that they're willing to do stuff like that, flying in the face of half the country, watching their president put through this stuff.
Oh,
and the
my
president
gosh.
has all kinds of resources to defend himself, and that same abuse is down there screwing a little guy who was just trying to do something great for the industry.
It's sick.
And that is why I'm saying it's going to blow up in their face. Okay.
So.
It's just now starting to give them enough rope to hang themselves. Mm-hmm. All that stuff that they've done is on the record. It's going to come out, and it's just like lighting a fuse. It's going to burn right up through the whole agency and result in them getting a severe spanking from the American people. And so what they set out to be an obvious power grab is going to turn out to be something that I hope will put them back in their box where they are servants of the people and not this rogue agency that thinks it can do anything and get away with it, no matter how unconstitutional it was.
Well, what's so bad about it too is, there's this you drop the pebble in the water and you get that ripple effect, and a lot of that ripple effect is people on the internet. I will get comments on this video if it's not copyright infringement and somebody's trying to take it down illegally again. And by the way, dude, take all that off and see what I do for you. All right? You want to create peace? Take all that stuff down. Don't steal my stuff again and see what happens. If I will give you your stuff back so you can move on. But stay away from me unless you're going to give me credit. That's it. Just give me credit. Take my videos. Just give me credit so people can come back. But when you have that ripple effect, people will comment here and they will say something negative about Jared that are not educated on it. They have not been following you, this, or anything else with Jared. It's just something they've heard from someone else a long time ago, or it's twisted and turned. No one's getting the other side, and that's what's bad too. People hear one thing and that is it. That's the truth. Nobody investigates anymore or looks a little further. They believe everything they read or hear. And right now they're not hearing, your side. Hopefully they will. People will share this and they can hear that kind of thing. But, it's hard right now for Sherrod to share his side. We talked to him on Coast to Coast right after it happened to him, right? And he's kind of been quiet ever since. I don't think he's talked again, has he?
Yeah, that's the first thing your lawyer says is quit digging a bigger hole.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Well, I hope more and more people see this so that they can, not say such bad things about Jared. I don't like to hear that, and I understand that people are doing it that way. In fact, let me ask you this, and say whatever you want to say on this or not, but it's kind of like I just recently heard some rumors on Dan, your son, Dan Larimer, and I asked you about him to go, what is this? What people are saying, and they're saying it like as it happened just now, and they are saying things about, run from EOS. Dan's partner of Block One that owned it, it was found to be this bad guy, Brock Pierce, or something like that. And, tell whatever that is, because that's another rumor mill going around, right? Where somebody's just trying to throw somebody under the bus here. Cause
that's unfortunately
everybody's
the way the
looking good at EOS, right?
Yeah, the way the game is played in this industry is people who got nothing try to smear the reputations of other people that got something. Okay, and one of the things they love to do to smear things is if you've had any association at all with some other person, and that person goes down in flames because of their personal behavior, that somehow that means the whole project that person was on is somehow bad or a scam. But that was a problem back when we were doing our first blockchain, BitShares, because nobody knew who we were or anything, and we'd worked hard to build up a reputation, and it's so easy for someone to damage it. And that's part of the process that slowed down the rate of adoption of BitShares for a couple of years, is that type of whisper campaign that was going around that, like you say, people believe. But now that Dan's got steaming under his belt and this magnum opus of EOS, his place in the legendary of the industry is secure, and it doesn't matter what little people say in little videos making stuff up, And quite frankly, anybody that consumes that kind of stuff deserves what they get. They miss out on good stuff because they listen to people who do that. Okay? I think that's fair. If you're stupid enough to watch that video and believe it without investigating all the other stuff that's going on that's wonderful, then, okay, you deserve to miss out. And I don't feel sorry for anybody that consumes that type of video.
Well, what's bad is the people that do spit that out, they're probably hearing it from somebody else that spit it out, and somebody else has spit it out instead of going a little further. And so that is not the case. That's not even happening. Did I miss it? Was I reading the chat and you actually said it? I'm sorry. Forgive me, sir.
I did not watch the entire video. I watched. I had utter contempt for the guy the instant he said, "Hey guys, Litecoin is the next big thing." When I saw that, I said, "Okay, this guy knows nothing." And then as he started smearing stuff, I went through the next 10 minutes of it, and I didn't even watch the rest. I saw what he was trying to do. So if there is some specific accusation that he made in there that you want me to remark on, go ahead and spit it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they said something about, and this is just what I heard on there, and people sent this to me to find out, hey, what's going on here? What, these folks. I don't know Dan at all. I know Stan, but it was that I guess the guy, there's Block One, and Brock Pierce, I think is his name, is the owner of that, and he was asked to leave, or they found that he was over a chain of some sort of, I don't know, some sort of ring of maybe sex things or something bad. I don't know, something not good. Mm-hmm. And so they found it out, and then he was gone the next day or something like that. So don't buy EOS because it's not what you think it's going to be. And by the way, Litecoin is like up, like I think it was at like 12 cents at one point or 0.000. Now it's like up closer to 200 if it's not that. So, I mean, that is growing. That's pretty nice numbers to have, but it's still, these things about just putting that, like you said, that hammer down on the nail of EOS. I mean, that's terrible that they would say something like that.
Well, yeah, but you could take that particular thing for any topic whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you say, Company X had an employee that behaved badly.
Yeah.
And they kicked him out.
Yeah.
Therefore, don't buy that company's product because they had an employee that behaved badly. Come on.
Yeah,
what in the world does that have anything to do with the kind of product that somebody's building?
I agree.
Or what does that have anything to do with somebody else working for that company?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Dan's reputation is, by this point, legendary in the industry, and it does not need defending. And what he's doing is easily auditable by thousands, if not tens of thousands of people looking at his code and saying, holy crap. So, at this point, somebody like that when they start making that kind of comment, it's a non sequitur.
Right.
It is meaningless.
And it's not having all the information as well, like you're saying. Is he gone? Michael X is here now. Hey, Michael X, whoa. And he has said Brock was merely an advisor and one of the many advisors you happen to be in BitAngles, not the CEO. And he laughed and says misinformation, which, yeah, that's what most of this stuff is. And that's what's terrible. They say these horrible things, and then they say, oh, because of this, don't get EOS, So now let me ask you this. So you're not allowed to say, buy BitShares, but you can say, don't buy something else. Is that right?
And interestingly enough, in the bizarre world of government regulations, that's true. That you can say all you want negative about somebody else's project, but you can't say good stuff about your own project.
Oh, it makes no sense, because you're always going to try to do your best to be number one. You're always going to try. Of course, you want people to buy your stuff, right? Hey, if I'm selling a widget, I want you to buy this. I mean, I would be on Home Shopping Network and QVC going, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, right? It just makes no sense.
This is all about people who want control, making everybody say Mother May I for everything they do in advance. And I've said many times, we already have laws against fraud. And the blockchain documents fraud better than anything else. Okay? So you can, after the fact, go find out where the fraud is and put people in jail who did it. And you don't need a bunch of extra rules up front of saying Mother May I that just slow the industry down.
It's not even Mother May I. It's Simon Says do this. That's what it is. Thank you. I love when I get a good one. If I can make Stan laugh and go, hey, that's a good one, then I know it is. Oh, great. Well, we got some really good things in the chat room. If you're just now joining us, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis on Crypto Connie Tuesday, and it is live. I'm Crypto Connie. That is Stan Larimer. He is not doing any endorsements for Coke, even though it looked like he is not doing any endorsements for Coke. Was that a Coke?
And I own no stock in Coca-Cola.
Yeah, none. And I know, and don't in this either. I don't even know what this little tiny thing is. This little tiny bottle of water just wet my whistle, and now I'm really thirsty. I'm like, I need another one, but it's on the other side of the house.
This is just moonshine in an old Coke can.
All right. You're okay there. That we need to have you on Wasted Wednesdays if that ever happens here. It will. If you're just now joining us, please hit that like button and support. Please subscribe if you have not. We did put this in some of the telegrams so that we could bring people from there and let them know, hey, you guys are missing these shows. Never thought to do that. Fuzzy told me, Connie, put them in telegrams. That telegram was new to me, Stan, so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's kind of just, kind of this neat little live chat kind of private-y kind of thing, but it's really not. It's just for the people that are into that field. So go for it. Throw out whatever you want, so now I know. So we have that, by the way, Telegram for the Quintric and for the BitShares and for the Bench, as you mentioned, as well as Hero. I mean, is it for every one of them, or can it just be the BitShares family and everything down below? It's not really, is it? It's kind of...
No, people spin off different forums for different purposes. There's ones for talking, trading talk, and there's ones for help for people who need help with their wallet. And, so different special interest groups, that try to sort the conversations into things you care about so you don't have to read everything else.
Okay. All right. Well, again, if you guys have any questions, now's a good time to go ahead and in the last segment that we have coming up here, it's a good time to go ahead and ask them. If you already asked a question a long time ago, I'm not going to be able to see it, but make sure that you put it in all caps, a suggestion or a question, so that I can see it. I know that people already got some things over here. Let me scoot this little picture over. I'm moving your head. You don't even know. It's kind of like a squishy your head kind of thing. See if
Too much power. I protest. We're going to have to decentralize your show.
No. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Decentralized, right? I want that. So I want what Silicon Valley's doing. I want a decentralized internet, and I think that Dan should be doing that. It kind of sounds like he is with EOS. Am I wrong? I guess it's just a blockchain, so it's not internet. Did you freeze on me? Or are you just looking at me?
I don't know whether you can still hear me. You just froze up on my screen.
Oh, okay.
So we may be about to lose connectivity here.
Okay, let me, I'm going to hang you up and I'll bring you back on. So watch everybody. I'm going to hang up on Stan. Oh, I just hung up on him, but he'll call right back. He'll call me right back, I hope. Maybe not. He might decide to say, hey, I'm going to go and get some of this moonshine over here that he was talking about. So anyway, those of you just now joining us, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, Earth's most interesting conversations, including people, places, and things. And we are here with Crypto Tuesday. We have breaking crypto news along the way. We always talk here on Tuesdays, and we always have a good time. So please share this with other people. Hit that like button, too. I think he's trying to call in. Let's see. Nope, he went and got him another drink. And I don't mean, anything bad. I'm going to call him. I'll call him. He may be talking thinking he's on. You never know. You never know. Well, if we get him on, I'll let you know. Just a reminder, too, coming up soon, I'll be doing Wasted Wednesdays, which will be something that we will do with the world of cannabis, though I heard that YouTube's taking those types of videos down. And then Far Out Thursdays, or Signature Thursdays here on Blue Rock Talk, is something where it's usually kind of UFOs, psychic phenomena type things, remote viewing, really cool Far Out type things. It's interesting conversation, right? Bigfoot Fridays on Friday night. This is all 10 p.m. Eastern and is usually live with questions as well. And sometimes we're out in the field, which is always fun, and being by a big bonfire and talking to the experts along the way. I love doing that. And then, of course, Stan's Bible lecture is always on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back on Coast to Coast on Saturday night, the 19th. Saturday night, the 19th. Stanley, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Well, I'm trying to get my camera to turn on.
Oh, okay. He's trying to get his camera turned on. I don't know if y'all even hear anything like that. So we want Wasted Wednesdays. Like I got cryptoconnie Tuesday, Far Out or Signature Thursday, Bigfoot Friday, Stan's Bible Lecture Sunday. So I thought, what else is interesting conversation that people really love to talk about that's new and different and kind of crossing the line of a new world kind of situation, new events, new things happening. Wasted Wednesdays, the cannabis world. It's all over the place, right? It's everywhere. Everybody's, getting legalized and this and that. So I don't know a lot about it. I do think that for sure that it should be in the medicinal world. Whether you believe in doing that or not, that's all up to you. But I definitely think it should be in the medicinal world to help people. And so I wanted, the way for me to learn about it is to put a camera on some people and talk about it. Stan, what the Sam Hill are you doing over there? Did you just go get a new camera and everything? What is going on?
Yeah, for some reason I lost internet, so I switched over to my cell phone. So that I could get back to you. So I don't know what that your transmission, but now I'm coming to you from a little tiny cell phone sitting on top of my laptop.
Well, let's see if I can get you back on the other side here. I think there's a way to do it. Nope. Let me do it again. Hit boom. Ready and boom. There we go. Oh, can you just move it over? Pan. There you go. That's it. Okay.
Maybe I can. I know. I don't
So,
do this.
what did you do? You dropped the what happened?
Well, I tried calling you back on Skype. I would say that my cable internet went down.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Okay. All right. That's okay. Well, you're back, so that's good. It's making a little. You might want to turn. Yeah, you need your little earbuds in and to turn down the sound. I can hear a little feedback.
I'll try turning down the sound a little bit.
Okay.
I can't put earbuds in because that's in my power supply and my cell phone battery's nearly dead. So
Oh, no. Okay.
this is clearly a government's conspiracy. That's all I can say.
Dude, these rocket scientists there's some things they just can't do. That's so funny. Okay, well, let's get to any questions that you guys have. Put it in caps or any comments that you want to make, and I'll ask them that. So, let's see here. Cowie Wasted Wednesdays. Hey there, Michelle Pratt. How are you? Thanks for joining us. A little shout outs to everybody. Anonymous user, Income Mobile, Crypto Economy is here. And yet there are YouTubers claiming that they have no code. Yeah. Oh man, I tell you what a mess out there. A total of 43 authors have pushed over 800 commitments to the EOS.io code repository, firmly placing the platform into the top 8 most active projects written in C++ being developed on GitHub. Okay, for people like me, what is all that C++ develop on GitHub? What was Crypto Economy talking about there?
Was that a reference to the Bench project?
Let's see. Bench Trade will be great for BitShares. It's in quotes that Crypto Economy wrote, and it says a total of 43 authors have pushed over 800 commits to the EOS.io code repository, firmly placing the platform into the top 8 most active projects written in C++ being developed on GitHub. I think he pulled that quote from somewhere.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I believe it. EOS is a huge project, and they're doing a lot of work. So, that's pretty cool to be in the top 8.
Yeah, well, and speaking of Quintric, how is Quintric doing?
It's still marching towards its July 4th, big
Right.
launch.
What's going to happen on July 4th?
Well, that's, I think, when all of the different functionality that still has to be developed will be complete, and then the big push of getting attention drawn to it will happen starting then.
So, okay, I'd like to say that, okay, so I got some of it. One of them I have, it is still processing since months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I talk to? I guess I go to Quintric Telegram for something like that?
Yeah, they've got a really good help system. I mean, you get answers. You fill out a trouble report in some places, and you can wait weeks for exchanges to respond. But the experiences I've heard, and a few people, like my brother, was pleasantly surprised when he called in with some issue and got an answer back within a couple hours by email.
Excellent.
So, I would just suggest going ahead and using that facility. They seem to be pretty good at responding. Okay.
All right. Well, that is good to know. Speaking of, I remember at one point you were real excited because some people were going to work on making the BitShares exchange and everything much easier to work with. Whatever happened with that? Did Bench jump in and at that point to where you needed those people to stop, or are they still working on it, or how's that going?
Well, there's nothing to prevent there from being multiple teams working on it. And there's a team that has a worker contract to do the small updates to the existing wallet. But the Bench team is a sterling example of a team that reimagined the entire wallet, and they've put out a complete set of what all the screens look like on your phone, and then the same screen works also on your laptop. And so we'll get out of the bench project, maybe within the month, a new cell phone wallet and a new iPad and a new laptop interface that will be designed for much greater simplicity. And that can be viewed as a complete upgrade to BitShares, because one of the things about Bench is if you take the Bench wallets and just plug in BitShares, guess what? You've got an upgraded BitShares user interface. And then if you turn around and say, oh, I want to import EOS support, boom, now you got a wallet that does both. And if you want to import Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dogecoin, whatever, go ahead. Yeah, and so that'll be coming out as, there'll be just lots of different applications. And the neat thing about this wrapper is if you've already developed a smart contract over on Ethereum, boom, you can import it. So that means there's going to be a whole lot of available software.
Yeah.
That's available on this, and that's one of the key things that's going on there is envisioning what's the next big thing, and as mind-bogglingly big as EOS is, and the ability to spin off many interacting chains and so on. This is like a layer on top of that gives you. I guess Jared likes to explain it as the difference between Windows and Mac OS. And from his point of view, EOS is going after enterprise level stuff and might be thought of more like the Microsoft solution. And he likes to think of himself as the Apple solution, where one button mouse.
I love it.
Blockchain.
That's right. I'm with him.
Underneath it, it's all the power Dan's designed into EOS, but Jared's vision is to bring many more chains, even old legacy chains, into the mix and make them all interoperable.
I like that. Just real quick, can I just get you to go this way? Thank you.
Like that?
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, a couple questions in here. I just lost them. Where'd they go? And somebody wants me to bring Anthony Patch as a guest. I don't know who that is. But let's see here. Where'd they go? Miss Cavs fan is asking, will Bench compete with EOS or help EOS?
Oh, Jared is passionate that it's not going to compete. Everything that EOS does and is inside Bench, and Bench just tries to provide some additional icing on the cake.
Well, you've never had such a short answer ever. I was like, let me get you another question here. That's good, though. That's when you know you're right to the point. I love when Michael X shows up and he answers and talks in the live chat room. I love it. It's so cool. It's really cool when he does that. Thank you, Michael. But Michael and Stan are you business partners? What is the relationship with you and Michael's with BitShares?
Yeah, I'd say business partners. We're in multiple companies together, and sometimes we occupy different rungs on the corporate ladder in a given spot. But straight up partners is what I describe at this point, because we've got so many different things we do together, and it doesn't even matter about rank inside a company anymore.
Yeah.
We got multiple companies that we're working with. Good
team. Just want everybody to know who Michael X is when we talk about him, and we'll have Michael on more because. Because we will. It's just the way it is. He's fun. He's good. He's right on when he does stuff there, too. Let's see. And cryptoconnie had said, I would guess that Bench and EOS will play nicely together, correct?
That's the whole reason Bench exists, is to make all the chains play nicely.
I like hearing that. Would it be possible to back EOS with Quint?
No. You could theoretically back assets on EOS with a smart contract that implements something similar to a bit asset. Instead of using the EOS token or the BitShares token, you could use the Quint, and that would be interesting. But, since the Quint is designed to be absolutely stable, it's not clear to me that there would be any incentive for somebody to try to short assets backed by that into existence. But anything's possible if you've got a business case to do that.
Well, it's funny because Michael X has said, hey, maybe you should have Michael X as a guest. And we've had him on before. We just definitely have to do it again. In fact, I was actually thinking that we were just going to bring him on. I think it was in the recent weeks or something. You had something going on. I was like, oh, I'll bring in Michael, just Michael. And then I think that's when we did the live. No, yeah, that's when we did the live all day long kind of show. So that's good. I love when we do that kind of stuff. I love different things happening. Let's see here. Still don't know who Anthony Patch is. Who is Anthony Patch that you want to go up with Stan? That just so I'll know how to get a hold of or see who this guy is. So when you say BitShares 3, is that a separate blockchain from what you referred to as BitShares 2?
BitShares 3 was my code name for what the next thing that took advantage of EOS technology was. There is no such thing as BitShares 3. Bench is BitShares 3, you could think of it, but that's even a misnomer because Bench is not attempting to cause any changes to BitShares as it is. Bench is occupying its own niche that deals at a completely different plane, and it uses the existing BitShares system without modification. Now, that doesn't mean that people doing care and feeding of BitShares won't continue to evolve that platform, but Bench is not trying to cause any perturbations to the BitShares universe. But Bench will use the BitShares token and find more applications for that token.
Good.
And so that's part of the whole overall mission of adding value that will increase the value of BitShares in general. But Bench will do so much more than that. It's going to create a whole new ecosystem. If you thought the EOS ecosystem was big, wait till you see the extensions that are possible with Bench.
Can't wait.
And they're going off in different directions orthogonally. So the whole picture gets bigger as Jared innovates and Dan innovates, and so we just can sit back and enjoy that.
I can't wait to have fun with the thumbnail of you doing this. All I can think of is the Fonz, man. That's it. Hey. Stan Zarella. I need your little leather jacket there. Yes, and you have mentioned BitShares 3 a lot. BitShares 3.0 coming. So that is Bench. That's how people definitely are looking at it.
Yeah,
so
and once again, just to recap, I challenged several people I respect in the community to work together to figure out what that would look like. And Jared joined that group and got inspired and started innovating at Warp 9. And, the rest of us sat back and said, get out of his way and see what he does.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's cool. And even after all he's gone through, right? So Law Dog here says, what do you think of Warren Buffett's opinion that cryptos are rat poison squared?
There's lots of people out there that have very limited understanding of the implications of it. And certainly anybody with a Hollywood background, I don't care how famous you are, you know nothing, and therefore should be ignored.
Well, a lot of people I know that are very, very well off, and they're a little older, they're like, you know what, I've made my money. I'm cool with the system that I've made my money with. I am too old to learn something new. It is not that they are rejecting it. They're just like, yeah, I don't want to think anymore. I want to go spend my money. And good for them, that's cool. But to say, no, it's horrible. To say something negative about it when you haven't even checked it out, that's a whole different story, right?
Well, that's a human condition. Even people I really respect early on, a lot of the guys who were in the gold business, famous people, were saying negative things about the difference between crypto and precious metals. But a lot of them have come around over time. So the ones I respect are the ones who admit that they were wrong and now understand the true implications.
I love all those type of people that admit that they are wrong along the way. You know, it's all about learning more and more, keeping an open mind. And I love when somebody's like, you know what, I was wrong. I was so wrong.
Yeah. And believe me, I'm willing to do that. If that ever happens, I will do it.
If it ever happens, we'll let you know. See what happens here. That's funny. InfoPlanet is it possible today? Is it possible to day trade profitably on BitShares? If so, any tips?
I'm not a day trader, so I would be the wrong person to ask.
Yeah.
Sure, it's possible to day trade. Now, is that environment suitable to you? It's the fastest blockchain out there. If you're going to trade on a blockchain, BitShares is where you want to do it, and it's got some advantages. There are certainly high-frequency trading things that are out there for the big boys to play with, but once again, that's an unfair advantage that big guys have, able to front-run what the little guys can do. And when you have something like BitShares, everybody's on the same playing field. Everybody is synchronized to the same 1.5 second average transaction time, and so there's no way for other people to cut in and take the profits.
Okay. So let me throw this out at you. That is great to hear that, because, all right. So what I've heard from people that do that trading, this is what I've heard. I haven't learned it myself yet, but I'm looking to do that in the future, to learn how to do that myself, so I can be a lot better talking about it with you, even though you're not a day trader. Right now, I guess I'm hodling my stuff. Is that what I do? I'm hodling. I'm hodling, and I'm looking forward to learning the other. Now, the people that do the day trading have said it's not easy. It's not very conducive to do it in the BitShares exchange. They said it's not easy to do that. However, but this is cool. Tell me if I'm wrong or right here. But now a lot of people talk about Binance, and I don't know if that's good or bad or not, but they say it's much easier to do what you need. And I guess that's some sort of way. And people are asking, can BitShares get like this too? Can they do it? Because they want to. They believe in you. They want to do it with you. Mm-hmm. And that's cool that you're right. That strategy right there alone is going to be that much quicker than if you're somewhere else. That's a big point. So will Bench make that happen to where it will be easier to do that, more conducive to day trading?
I think it will, but that's not the first objective.
Well, tell Jared. Tell Jared it's an objective for us.
There's two different complaints we get. One is the interface is way too complicated.
Yeah.
And the other one is it's not complicated enough. Okay. So the day traders, professional traders, have certain extra tools and features they want to see. And a lot of those haven't been implemented. The thing Jared's focused on is providing nice, clean, beautiful interfaces that are simple and not intimidating.
Yes.
And that you can import features to when you want them, but they're not there until you ask for them.
Oh, well, that's cool. You can add your own apps as you want it.
Yeah. He wants it to be modular and to be a toolbox. But if you want something simple, you don't import all the other tools, and you put in the pieces that you want to have for your particular case. Now,
I love it.
Surely somebody someday will find it profitable to make a version that is just for day trading. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so there's nothing inherent about the blockchain itself that stops you from having any kind of interface. In fact, infamously, a company called Follow My Vote took BitShares and turned it into a voting booth. So you could have very different kinds of user interfaces on the same blockchain.
Wow, that's cool. Well, I remember when I had interviewed Jared before, I don't think it was on Coast. I think it was when I very first interviewed him. And those of you, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, Crypto Connie Tuesday. There's past videos on here, and you'll see a couple, I think maybe one, maybe more than one with Jared. I can't remember, but definitely one. And he spoke about when he was it was when he was still talking about Arise Bank, and he had something that was like an automatic day trader. And he said it was like 100% accurate of what it was picking. I said, well, holy cow, that's pretty big. I mean, that alone is awesome. Let's talk about that some more. So if anybody wants to go back and watch that video, just do Jared Rice, and you'll get to see that.
Yeah, those generally fall in the category of bots that are programmed to make automated decisions for you. And some are free and some are special, secret sauce kind of things.
You know what? I just, another TV show, remember my background's television, so I got to see what's going on. Just started watching Westworld. So when you say bots and you're talking about all these different things in the future, holy cow! Have you seen that one? No, I don't think you ever watched TV. Right?
I have heard of Westworld, but I banished TV from my life.
Oh, Westworld was popular a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
they just revamped it.
I thought you were referring to a very old series.
Yeah.
And I did watch MASH at one time.
MASH, MASH, yeah. Do 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 do. What? Right? Kind of close.
Yeah,
can you do the music?
I could see MASH
in
there somewhere.
Let's hear you do it. You're the singer. You do it. Let's hear the MASH music.
Because suicide is painless.
Oh, so you know the actual words of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of MASH, make sure you mash that like button, those of you that are here. All right, let's see here. Would BitShares 3 be an airdrop to EOS holders? That would be wise, would it not?
Well, there's still a lot of discussion on that in terms of how all that will work. It's not ready. It's not decided, so it's premature to even discuss how it gets distributed. But there are all kinds of legal considerations for that, and of course, Jared is being watched under a microscope, by forces that can crush him at any moment. So, whatever is done there is not going to be done or thought of lightly, and it'll be done in a very careful way, and hopefully in a fully disclosed way with the authorities.
Man, I can't wait for all this to come up. Let's go. We're all cheering him on. Cal T is asking this. With the upcoming bench chain, Quint, etc., is it plausible for the BitShares market cap to reach into the hundreds of billions of dollars in the next 1 to 3 years?
Well, this would be a particularly bad episode for me to even attempt to comment on future predictions of price, given the fact that I just spent much of it scourging the authorities. So I'm not going to fall into the trap of commenting on any kind of forward-looking station, even though I have nothing to do or no control over the BitShares platform. And that's another thing I shouldn't have to do, right, to be intimidated from freely expressing my opinion on things. But that's the type of fear and intimidation that's spreading around our industry. Nobody can even talk or get excited about the work we're doing.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. But once again, we got to work to reform the system. It's not just getting the corruption out of it, but it's time to re-examine the whole premise behind 100 years of case law.
Yeah, and it's just spreading into other things too. I guess because it's getting so much attention in the news and everything about this, these people are taking this power that they're abusing power, and they're taking power and throwing it at things that aren't real as if it is real. The conviction is terrible. And it's not just, in TV and the news and the president and all that, golly, again, it takes people of steel to handle that. But it's happening elsewhere too. I don't know if it's a runoff because of all that, everybody's seeing it, or if it's just in our society now. That's where it's come to. We're coming into the revelations time, because I'm seeing it with friends, I'm seeing it in schools, I'm seeing it in families, I'm seeing it everywhere. And it's just horrible, because especially when you're the person getting bombarded, what do you do? Because I don't see people I don't see intervention like I used to, what I remember growing up. If somebody was bullying somebody, the rest of the little group got together and took that kid out back or something, it was just different. It seemed like there was intervention. Now, if there's any intervention, there's got to be a reality show and 5,000 people to come, we're going to intervene. There needs to be intervention throughout all the time going, hey, stop this. What are you doing? Wake up. Come on. Yeah. Do unto others. What are you doing? There's another side.
That's what you've seen me doing this whole show.
Yeah.
Intervention.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm just a harmless little fuzzball, but I can't remain silent when I see my government behaving this way.
Gotcha. And if you see a little fuzzball in the air, give it a little and know it's Stan. Don't let it fall to the ground. Keep it going. All right, let's see what else. Okay, so Anthony Patch could be a great show. What does he do? Tell me what he does. What's he do? Now BitShares has bots you can use for day trading. Not yet, right? Or do you?
Yeah, I think they just introduced one. What? I think it's up and running now.
What? How do I find that?
I guess you go to the one of the BitShares Telegram channels and say, guys, tell me about it.
Okay, I will. All right, we'll do that. And maybe we'll do a show on that with you or Michael X. Okay, so looking at the clock here real quick, let me look real fast about any other questions here. Connie Attino, Michael X is saying something here. What? Connie Attino. What? Oh, is that what it is, Michael? Okay, June 1st, EOS goes live. How about Bench going live on the same day? Ooh.
That's within the realm of possibilities. You know, we're not making any predictions, but we want it to be there for people to discover as part of the whole hoopla of EOS summer.
Right. Oh, I like that. Okay. Connie rocks the blue planet. Hey, I like that. Let's see. A little name of the song, Suicide is Painless. That's right, it is. Airdrops are likely securities. All right, who designs the EOS logo, and what is it? And what the Sam Hill is it?
There's a whole story behind that, but I haven't studied it. I saw it at one time back a year ago. So it's some kind of hedron, and it's significant for some kind of reason.
Well, Michael X says you're a lovable fuzzball. All right, okay.
Hey, I wouldn't talk with that hairdo you got there, Mike.
Oh my gosh, I keep going back to TV. It's not like I'm watching it all the time, by the way. But you know, when I do get to see my little Silicon Valley and the other ones, I have to go through some of those along the way. But there's a commercial. I don't know what it is, but it's like a fuzzball or an M&M or something, and it's got some little character. Oh, is it an M&M? Some sort of little weird thing, and it's got this. It's almost like an M&M, but it's got this cool hair, and it's like flipping it around. And the other guy's a big fuzzy ball, and he's not getting the gig. The other one with the big hair, and he's like, I don't get it. How come this guy's getting the gig over me? Kind of attitude. And they're like, it's the hair, and he's like, I am hair. So the little fuzzball that could or couldn't. So you got to see these things or they're not going to work. So anybody out there that knows what I'm talking about, put the comment in there. Let everybody know that's funny too. Well, Stan, just so that you can go to bed, get your little beauty sleep. Actually, probably go back to work if I know you. You probably got to write something, don't you?
I got lots of stuff.
Okay.
Unlimited amounts of stuff I haven't done.
Okay. Is that Pam over there going, that's right, let's go. It's after midnight, let's go, get on it. And I know, too, that I can say the same with you. It's like I know you have a lot to do. So thank you very much. Anything else you want to say before you go?
Thanks, everybody. I've enjoyed it tonight, and thank you for being here.
All right, excellent. That was Stan Larimer, the godfather of BitShares, sharing all the information he has for you, the updates, and answering all your questions. We do this on CryptoConnie Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. live, Eastern. And we also, it can be breaking news at any time, all right? So know that. Please subscribe if you have not yet and hit that notification bell because we have a lot of information that comes in along the way. More with Michael X in the future, of course. More on Quintric and the BitShares 3.0, the bench. I'm hoping as soon as we can, we'll get Jared on whenever he's ready to do that. That will be great as well. And I know a lot of people said that Stan was into it. He was passionate and getting into it. That's great. I love that. And because of that, even more so, I can't wait to get he and Gerald Salente together one day and to get both of their little blood and juices flowing with each other. I think it'll be great. They'll probably be on the same side, though. They'll never be in a way where they'll be great, but they'll both be together going rah 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 and rah 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 and rah rah rah, and I love it. It's so funny because you see Gerald's faces, and now you got Stan's stuff going in there too. So that'll be a fun show in the future. All right, those of you, once again, Wasted Wednesdays coming in the future. Far Out Thursdays, Signature Thursdays, Bigfoot Fridays, and Stan's Bible Lecture Sundays, and of course Miscellaneous Mondays and record-breaking stuff. And I'll be on Coast to Coast May 19th. So thanks you guys for being a part of Blue Rock Talk, and thank you very much for being a part of Crypto Connie Tuesday. If you do want to support, hit that like button, and if you want to support the show, do it in crypto. The crypto favorites are down below. Do it in crypto. Surprise me. It's so fun when I see that. Even if there's one, it's fun to see. So thanks, everybody. And we want to thank Stan Larimer once again for being with us, the godfather of BitShares. How you can reach him is down below. Until then, everybody, have a safe and happy rest of the day. I'll talk to you soon here on Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. Take care.